Welcome to the Mayor's Show. As always, we have some very important information today. It's all about transportation. And obviously, we all know what we're going through with COVID-19. And this is be a very interesting show to try to bring people up to date on how things are changing with telecommunicating. It's a guide that I'm going to talk to Steve Noll, Executive Director of TMA Bucks. Something I'm very familiar with. I was a founding member back in 1999, and you came on not too much longer after that, Steve.
It's early 2002. Yep.
Yeah, a few years later he came on, and it's a thriving TMA, Transportation Management Association, what it stands for, and it still thrives today and doing a great job here in Bucks County, all about transportation. And Steve, I know it's been a struggle like all of us been having with COVID-19 and people out of work, transportation's changing, a lot of things have changed. So bring us a little bit up to date on it.
Sure. Well, when you run an organization where your job is to tell people to get out of their cars, we want to get people out of their cars so it's easier to get around, the air quality's improved, traffic congestion's reduced. We want people to get on public transit. And all of a sudden you're in a situation where the rule is don't go anywhere in your car and don't get on public transit. Even SEPTA at one point was telling people don't ride us if you don't have to. We're a vital service, but stay home. So that leaves us in kind of a situation where we have to sit and go, well, now what do we do? Because we ask people to get out of their cars and everybody's out of their cars. So what we've started working with is something that we've been promoting as an organization for probably close to 15, 20 years, which is telecommuting, or they called it e-commuting at one point. Most people just call it working from home, where you've got an internet connection, you've got connectivity to the workplace, or you've got all of your company files in the cloud, and you're doing work from your home office or your dining room table. For years, everybody had their reservations about that. How can I keep an eye on my employees, and how will I know that people are doing their work, and how will I know that you're not out spending 4 hours shopping while you're supposed to be at home working? Then COVID hits, and all of a sudden employers are seeing the light and realizing, wow, we've got employees that are working from home, they're being more productive at home, they don't have to commute, they're not drained from commuting the second that they walk through the door, so they're walking 30 feet up the hallway, doing their work. We're making the same amount of money that we were making in a lot of cases before the pandemic. We're doing the same amount of business. Why have we been doing it the way that we've been doing it? Why have people been driving to this office? And more importantly, why are we paying all this rent on this office space if everybody can do the same jobs from home? And then the employees at the same time are going, why have I been driving to the office? So what you're seeing is a shift in thinking where all of a sudden after 20 years, what we've been promoting to you work from home, stay out of your car, save the gas, save the money, now everybody's realizing that it works. So we've shifted gears, so to speak. We've shifted gears to actually to help people understand, telecommuting is more than just, okay, work from home tomorrow, turn on your computer and do your job there. There's all kinds of human resources questions, there's all kinds of technology questions, there's all sorts of questions like who's paying for the office supplies, who's reimbursing for printer ink, and that's why we've created a guide that's on our website at tmabucks.com. You can actually download that. We've had over 700 businesses download it so far, and it's a guidebook on kind of the ins and outs of having a workforce that's telecommuting. And really the only thing we don't touch on is the legal aspects. As far as workers' comp, if you get hurt while you're working at home, who pays for that? That's a question for your attorneys. And we can be a lot of things, but an attorney is not one of them.
Yeah.
So that's how we've kind of changed the way that we're doing business to not only help people that find themselves working from home during this pandemic, but businesses and people who want to continue doing it after COVID-19 has gone away.
Yeah, we started TMA obviously to get people out of their cars and to use public transportation, and we've always tried to clean air. We went to gas cars, now it's electric, and we've always promoted these things for the environment too, and get people to go to work that didn't have cars, to get them to public transportation. And I remember how many shuttles we used to have to get people from the train station to to their job. So it evolves. Things keep moving along and changing in the way we're doing it. And certainly, I hear everything you're saying, and I know it's happening. It's happening in my own family with my daughter-in-law. She doesn't have to drive the Conshohocken every day, you know, and it's a little easier on the nerves and everything. But it makes me wonder about all these empty office buildings. You know, if people say, well, we could turn them into medical facilities. I say, how many medical facilities do you think he can have? So, so there's always a double-edged sword. So obviously get people out of the cars and helping the environment and helping themselves, obviously. And like you say, they're probably getting better work from the people, I guess, because they're there. They're not moving back and forth, and they're certainly not out shopping. And it's pretty easy to monitor. I talked to my daughter-in-law about that. That's very easy for the company to monitor what they're doing. They know what they're supposed to get done, and they're actually doing more, like you said, in a lot of cases. So it's changed. So everything has changed, and COVID has really changed a lot of things that we're doing.
Absolutely, and you know, I've always been, it's always been my philosophy as far as just running the TMA and managing my staff. It's always been my philosophy that, look, I hired you to do something, I trust you to do it. If I've got to be looking over your shoulder every minute of every day, I'll do it myself. So, you know, with that same logic, it shouldn't matter whether you're working in your office, you're working from home, you're sitting out in a park on a nice day, which, you know, admittedly I've done a couple of times, and you're there with your laptop and a cell phone with a Wi-Fi connection. You know, really the office, the idea of the office has completely changed in the last in the last 6 months.
There's no question about it. There's no question. I know you talk about telecommuting, the guide, but there's a heck of a lot more that you do with the TMA. Give us an update on a little bit what's going on there. I know you have 4 employees now, right?
Right.
And try to keep up with everything around the county. It's a big job, and you do a great. By the way, you do a wonderful job, Steve. I tell you that. You were there when we hired you way back when, 19 years ago.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I had a lot more hair.
Yeah, me too. So. But we were founded on all about transportation, getting people to work and that, and you still do that, right? A lot of that.
Absolutely. This is one of the most, and I struggle to find an organization that's more apolitical and bipartisan. I don't just want to say nonpartisan and bipartisan. An organization, because whether you know, no matter where you sit and where your thoughts lie on the political spectrum, there's something that we do that should appeal, because we're working to better the environment. We're working to lessen vehicle emissions. We're working to increase economic activity. If it's easier to have goods and services come to your business in Bucks County because the highway network moves more smoothly and you have access to the employees you need without turnover on account of no transportation, then you're going to keep that business in Bucks County. You're going to grow that business in Bucks County, and you're going to do it cleanly. People are going to come here and enjoy a good quality of life because the air is clean and the roadways are safe. And in the coming weeks, we're going to be branching out and including highway safety. We've recently assumed operation of the Bucks County Community Traffic Safety Program. So we'll be working with law enforcement and the legal departments in the county to increase highway safety, put programs in place to let people know things, you know, why it's important to wear your seatbelt, why it's important to drive carefully. Teen driving safety, helping teens recognize safe driving behaviors, and wearing the seatbelt, our high school seatbelt safety challenge.
Well, that's always been something for many years, safety, the seatbelts, and you still run a program, isn't it, that where somebody become a winner if they, to school, or I remember we used to do it, and I think you're still doing it, right?
We have, yep, and we have, we're in our 14th year. Now this year, with COVID, it's a little bit up in the air because you can't count students that aren't driving to school. But nevertheless, we're going to do it when we can. We're going to do it when it's fair. But we actually we have all 20 eligible high schools in Bucks County competing against each other to increase seatbelt usage among their student drivers. And there's a $500 cash grant to the student club for that. But not only that, there's the fun part of it, but more importantly, In the 14 years that we've been doing this program, we've seen seatbelt use, just as we observe it in the fall before there's any kind of program, we've seen seatbelt use go from the 60 and 70% into the high 80s and low 90% just from fall. So you're talking a 0.5%, 1%. Some school that has 96% usage now may lose to a school that has 97% usage because the students are getting it. They understand the consequences, and there's so much education about the benefits of wearing your seatbelts. How many lives did we save? We don't know, because the paper doesn't report that someone wasn't killed in an accident or an accident didn't happen.
Right.
You're not going to see those headlines because they don't happen.
Yeah.
And that's what's important.
Yeah, well,
to us.
and that's been doing a good job. I know our school here, Ben Salem, always is involved in it. You know, I want to go back to telecommuting, the guide. We're talking about people working at home. Yeah, we have a large industrial, commercial here in Ben Salem Township, so transportation is very necessary for that. I mean, you're not going to do that from home. You're not going to sell things, or you're not going to manufacture things from home. So that continues to be part of what we have to get done with you guys. I mean, you got to help to make sure that happens.
There are plenty of services and businesses that you need to be there to function. You can't remote work at a landfill. You can't remote work at a factory. But the benefit to them becomes if somebody that doesn't need to be on the road is out of the way of the person that does need to be on the road, then that makes life easier for the people that do report to a work site. And when there are situations that businesses have with trouble accessing employees, trouble retaining employees because they can't get to their jobs, that's when they contact us. That's when we step in and work with those employers to solve their problems, to come up with solutions and figure out, how can we do better business in Bucks County? How can we employ people more reliably in Bucks
so
County?
you have both ends of it.
Absolutely.
You have both ends of it. You'll continue to do. I kind of give you the last word. Anything you want to add? Anything? Bucks TMA.
The most important thing, and it's my little commercial, is that I compare the TMA a lot to public television, public radio. Anybody can listen, everybody can benefit, but the way we function is through memberships, and we are a membership organization. And I would just ask anyone seeing this program to take a look at our website, tmabucks.com, and look into membership, because your membership dollars leverage federal and state money to help us put that to work right here in Bucks County. It's not going anywhere else. It's coming here to Bucks, and it's helping everyone to get around more smoothly and safely.
I'm going to end my end on this by saying at the beginning, we were a very incubator organization, and we were, I don't know how ranked down in TMAs, but today we're the #1 TMA in all the counties. And thank you for leading the way on that, Steve.
It is my honor and pleasure.
And it's been great having you, and everybody on there. You heard, you become a member, tmabucks.com. And until next time, everybody, God bless.